AGS Ultimage, brought to you by Essentio Oils and Essences. Infuse your environment with their natural Reiki and crystal-infused Yogini Girl essential oil sprays to lift the energy of your space and body. Available in 4 unique scents: invigorating citrus and herb bliss, soothing floral calm, intoxicating and sensual love, and classic clearing. Try one today.
Hey Leos, this is Hal for HES Ultimage, and this is your channeled forecast for the month of January 2016. Hey guys, for personal readings, you can go to hesultimage.com, spelled just like the channel. I do personal readings starting at just $20, and a wide range of different messages. I do them through both email and through Skype, depending on the type of reading. You can check it all out there. Okay. All right, so getting into your message, and I have to say your message is super straightforward, so it should be really easy to apply. Like a few people like the Cancers got these like really multifaceted messages with like a little bit here and a little bit there. Yours is going to be really easy to remember and to push forward this month. Here we go. All right, so if something is, I worded it as plaguing you, but here I'm going to be very specific about this. I got a bad feeling in my gut, like a hurt feeling in my gut, which to me leads to the idea of either A, you feeling like you're doing something wrong or being something wrong, because this is what I really felt too, was that it's either going to be like a shot to your character, a shot to your ego, a shot to you that might try and say you're not being the right kind of person or you're not achieving as the right kind of person. Okay? And it's, again, I feel the hurt, but don't get me wrong, like, this is something that you can manage what I feel is very easily this month, okay? And for this January, this is the feeling that I'm getting. And I got, you must hang on and stay true to yourself, okay? And again, I think this will be a lot easier than you're thinking. You can be okay. And I have to give this in a gentle way. And I feel like this came up a little bit last month about, you know, Leo personalities being incredibly strong, and that's one of my favorite things about Leos, to be honest. Like, you never need to guess where you are with a Leo, and I love that. But I got, it can be either very like polarizing or maybe a little bit like overpowering for, say, a type of person who has a lot in a sign that's a little more mutable, like maybe for example, like somebody who's more mutable being maybe someone around like Pisces or Virgo, or other people who maybe appreciate a little more subtlety in their interaction, so to speak. That, you know, that can create a polarizing effect on certain people, or people from, you know, a very aggressive sign like Leo, Capricorn, etc. Capricorn's tricky. I have a lot of Capricorn in me, and it's like we can be interestingly like incredibly subtle and incredibly aggressive all at once. We're one of the most confusing of all of them. But, you know, when you get two people also with very strong personalities, they can also set each other off in incredibly different directions. So, you know, even if you're dealing with people who, you know, you just have one really strong personality and then another really strong personality, I feel like this month it might cause you to have some wounds that you're going to have to, like, when it comes to questioning who you are or something. And at the end of the day, I think these are things that are going to be very manageable for you. But, you know, that polarizing effect is going to be causing some sort of shakeups or questionings when it comes to your identity. Because again, with that gut punch that I felt, it has to do with either identity or things that are very deeply tied to your identity when it comes to things you're trying for or things that you're trying to manifest, achieve, etc. Then I got, let's go slow with these things, you know? Let's try not to try too hard when it comes to pushing people to, okay, how we come through to others, all right? That's what you're going slower with. Sometimes you can't always make the best impression, all right? And again, that comes down to differences in people's values, personalities, communication styles when it comes to maybe a more mutable person and you being a more forward person. And again, the other thing being, you know, clashes of values, personalities, and things like that, even when you have two very pronounced personalities in people, who put a lot of potency through their expression. All right? We will always be a communications student, okay? So we will always be a student of people, all right? You can never quite pinpoint everything for everyone. There are things that we can do to better attune ourselves, like I would say, you know, experimenting more with your intuition and with energy work and things like that. But at the end of the day, you know, people are complex, all right? And we can really learn a lot by observing and by understanding that everything we do has an effect, but at the same time, being one who's dissecting and studying it can give us some value and at the same time show us where our strengths are, I would say, too. Give me a minute now, because I know I need to backtrack a little bit to get us onto the right track for you in particular. Because I know it's not supposed to be deep and utter involvement in your evaluation of things, so that's the first. So I don't think you're going to be deeply evaluating anything. I think it's really more that we need to accept that we are learning. There we go. All right. We need to accept that we are learning. And that's okay. All right, next. You have to... Okay, give me 1 second, because there's a lot here that I scrunched together in the notes. Okay. Yeah, well, we're always going to be a student of the communications. You always have to learn to guard your broader interests. Okay, there we go. So you're always going to have to understand that sometimes you might need to word something more delicately to get your way, or to get yourself closer to what you want, okay? Oh, and I literally got to expand on your own, okay, prospects, potentials, you know, like to broaden your own world, your own opportunities. Sometimes you need to have that lighter touch, or that more greater finesse to what you're doing. So it's kind of that idea of turning a dial of sound higher and lower, but in a very light and delicate fashion. That's what you're pretty much studying at this point in this month. So that's really what it's mainly about for you for January, okay? New things are going to come in that will require your diligence, okay? And again, the diligence is about, you know, learning about the dial, learning about greater finesse through your application, all right? If you create a boundary, you will find things will blast open for you, okay? So, in this case, the boundary has to do with a certain level of filter, and I wouldn't call it a filter as far as being ingenuine. The filter is in place to give you the right finesse, the right pressure applied to a given situation, or how you apply your words, your enthusiasm, your, again, your broad and grand persona towards situations where you might need to attune it very gently. I'm starting to learn a lot about music production software, so this is kind of a good analogy, but you know, in music production, not only do they have to delicately adjust sound, but they have to, you know, even do other things with like equalization and all of these other filters that create the perfect sound. For you, this is what this month is about. Learning the different filters. Okay, so filters will be our perfect analogy. The different filters you can place over your own expression and your own translations to come through to people in just the perfect way to get more of what you want, okay? All right, so that said, I wish you a great January, and I will see you later.